Ahoy, ladies and gents, how are you doing? Welcome to BBC Spews Live. Where's my bloody, where's my background gone? Disappeared. It's weird, isn't it? Oh, here we are, overlays. There we go. There we go. Sorted. How's life? What's the date? It's the 11th of October. Still get it wrong way around because the Americans, for some inane reason, I've never quite figured out, do the dates differently to everybody else on planet Earth. It's 10/11, apparently. It's not 11/10. Maybe 9/11 is what precipitated the whole world getting the dates the other way around. Because it's not. It's 11/9, isn't it? Keeping it real. Back in Europe, it's 11/9. I suppose it sounds a bit churlish, so if you're going to complain about 11/9. Who's in? Blue Van Man's in. He's just had a text from the NHS app telling him he's been in close contact with someone who's had Omicron, never signed up to the app in the first place. That's how it works now. So it works. You didn't sign up for letting in 300,000 rapists either, did you? But that's what you got. You didn't sign up for letting your kids get fingered by random Algerians, but that's what you got, lads. We didn't sign up for a lot of things. It's the way it goes. We didn't sign up for, in fact, we didn't sign up for 95% of the shit we've got for the last 30 years, but that's what we got. Representative democracy. Fuck me. It wouldn't be less representative if Fred West, Peter Sutcliffe, and Jimmy Savile were running the fucking show, would it? Representative, my ass. Oh, look. As promised, I started doing some art. Got this. I'm trying to update my medium. You know, I'm sick of just doing digital painting. And I do a lot of painting. It's paint minis. So I got some of these fancy markers that I read about on the internet. Blick Studio markers. And I've been doing some art with them. And that looks pretty good, doesn't it? The only difficult part is getting the DPM right when you're using a marker. It's not as easy as when you do it digitally. You literally just download a massive multicam pattern and then you drag and drop it and it fills it for you. So I'm playing around with that. And to all of those generous people that have bought me a pint, I will draw that next stream. So probably on Monday. So whoever wants that, you know the fucking drill. Buy me a pint, you tight bastards. I'll put your name in the hat. Blue Van Man, I'll stick you in as well because I totally forgot you actually sent me a super chat back when this channel was monetized, which obviously now it isn't. So I won't forget to put you in. I won't forget to put you in. Can you draw a Gallipodes? I can draw anything. I don't actually know what a Gallipody is, though. Is that embarrassing? What's a Gallipody? Let me Google it. Gallipody, fuck knows. That doesn't even come up on Google, so I think that must have been a typo, was it? What the fuck is DPM? DPM is the military term for camouflage, Steve. It's disruptive pattern material, DPM. So you obviously, these things are complicated nowadays. All of the DPM patterns used by various NATO militaries have their own fucking name nowadays. So when you want to get a modern piece of military artwork done, right, you can just go on the website. I forget the actual term for the new British multicam, and you just download it and stick it on, and voila, you've got the same one because they all have their own little names. Is it MTP now? Really? Is that just in America, or have we copied? Is the whole? I mean, we live in a globalist world now. So is that the whole world now? It's not It's not DPM anymore. It's MTP. What a load of bollocks. MTP. Shite. Multi-train pattern. It doesn't even make multi-train. Why? Is that because it's meant to be? And I know I remember the debate about the DPM when I was in, right? Because on my last tour of Afghanistan, we finally started getting different patterned material. Because obviously we trained in fucking, a lot of people don't remember, but we were wearing fully green and brown temperate pattern DPM when we invaded Afghanistan because we trained for 20 years thinking the whole plan was just stop the Russians pushing west. So everything we had, it was shiny black leather boots that you mega want when you're traipsing through the mountains of Afghanistan in the summer. And green and olive and brown tan fucking DPM. So they changed it all, and they were currently testing it when I was out there in about 2009, saying that it needs to be not all green and brown and not all yellow and brown. It should be a mixture of the two. And obviously that's what MTP is, right? Multi-terrain pattern. So you can just wear it everywhere. Makes sense, because like I said, we had to change uniforms. Halfway through our invasion of Iraq, we got sent a load of fucking yellow shit. So there you go. I do know this one, Davey. It's not called Fibula anymore. Fibula sounds aggressive, you see. Fibula sounds aggressive. For those civilians watching, it's fighting in built-up areas. We don't train in, we don't call it fighting in built-up areas anymore. Now it's called obula, operations in built-up areas. Now it's going to be called lesbia, which means lesbian operations in built-up areas. Handing out library books in built-up areas. Hiblua. So that's funny, isn't it? No more Fibula. No more Fibula. Did Stella McCartney design it so it was unified? You know what I've heard about Stella McCartney? Apparently, she bought an house in Middlesbrough. Surely that's not true. But a mate of mine who lives in Nunthorpe, which is one of the few nice areas in Middlesbrough, said that she lives at the top of fucking Gisborough Road or something. So apparently she's got an house. Maybe it's one of the other ones. Surely it's not Stella. Is there a poor McCartney sister who has a strained relationship with her dad? Chavua McCartney. She's moved to Middlesbrough. You can now see her pushing like a double pram around South Bank with her hair in like one of them daft knots, a fucking massive fringe and luminescent orange foundation. So she looks like Donald Trump's ugly sister. Anyway, let's do some news, shall we? I'm not just going to rant like I did yesterday. Here's a good one. Didn't see that coming, did you? IMF warns rising prices will be worse in the UK. What? Are you telling me that the IMF is singing off the exact same globalist hymn sheet as everybody else in the fucking worldwide walk? Are you telling me that? I'll tell you what, I never saw that coming. Gisborough Road. No, it's Gisborough Road, because there's a place on North Yorkshire Road called Gisborough near Middlesbrough. It's not Gisborough. Although if it was in Middlesbrough, it'd be called Gisborough, but it's actually outside of the borough. It's North Yorkshire, so it's called Gisborough. But I like it, Gisborough. Yeah. So that's funny, isn't it? IMF warns rising prices will be worse in the UK. Didn't see that coming, lads. I thought the IMF was totally impartial and just was led by data and reason and facts. I didn't for a minute think the whole fucking thing's a con, because every gigantic globotron organization, from NATO to the IMF to the World Economic Forum to the WHO to everything else, is just a giant cabal of evil, megalomaniacal, globalist overlords. That's what they are. They are megalomaniacal. This is an issue I take with Mark Stein. He always calls Klaus Schwab monomaniacal, but that just means you're obsessed with one thing, doesn't it? They're not monomaniacal. They're megamaniacal. They're just they're just obsessed with loads of things, but it's generally control. Well, maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe you could call them monomaniacal. Whatever. I'll defer to Mark. I like Mark Stein. But the IMF, this is what I keep saying about this woke globalist cabal. You know what they're going to say before they say it. Like, if you'd have asked me yesterday, what do you think the IMF are going to say about the economic conditions in the UK? You knew the IMF would say, you should go back in the EU, lads. You should go back in the EU, because they're not impartial. And this is what I keep telling you, fuckers. Nothing is a surprise now if you pay attention. They're not impartial. This is why, God, heaven help me. if I've gone balls deep in the conspiracy world. But seriously, 10 years ago, I was the person going, oh, no, you've got to follow the science. You've got to follow the science. But now, they're so deranged that the science doesn't exist anymore, because the science says what the monomaniacal World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, globalist psychopaths wanted to say. The science, they lie about it. So back in the days, the science meant, like, you know, a Baptist preacher in America would be saying that the world's only 6,000 years old. And I'd say, yeah, but the science, the fossil records, carbon dating, fucking DNA sequencing, loads of things prove that the Earth can't be that old. So you have to follow the science. But no, the science is whatever the fuck big organizations tell you it is. And they lie. They lie. And we know they lie. Because just today, some more evidence came out. The Dutch, not the Dutch Prime Minister, but he was a Dutch MEP. He was questioning, again, I've got to be careful, because Suza will get me by the plums. Although, you know what? Maybe just be a little bit less careful. Fuck up. I've got Rumble now. You can stream on Rumble, can't you? If I have to, I'll go on Twitch or Rumble or whatever. I'm fucking talking about it because it's a fact, and it was on GB News. It's weird how GB News are allowed to talk about this stuff, but if you're just a little small fry streamer like me, you have to fucking watch everything you say. It was on GB News. It went out on British television, so fuck them. This Dutch MEP was on telly saying, I've watched it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears, questioning one of the directors of Pfizer, saying, tell me unequivocally that you tested it thoroughly before you released it and you knew it worked and you knew it prevented transmission. And they say, no, we didn't. We didn't. So that's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. And the science says whatever these fucking balmy cunts wanted to. The other point I'd make about that one is, we also know that the word conspiracy theory, just like may my tongue turn black for saying it, and I have to do a mea culpa here to my mates Jimmy and Muzzy and Nodge and all those people who I used to argue with and take the piss out of. 10 years ago, we'd be sitting in the pub and they used to tell me about David Icke, and I used to take the piss out of them and go, fucking hell, he's a fucking nut. And no, the truth of the matter is, some of the stuff he says is bollocks, and some of the stuff he says is spot on. And like anything else, you just have to take each piece individually and upon its merits. And when they call people conspiracy theorists, what they do is they pick the craziest out there, nuttiest ones, and then they use that to smear anybody who questions the official narrative. So it's so obvious. Did anybody see Stephen Colbert's little piece? Mark Stein showed it on GB News, where Stephen Colbert was walking along the road with foreskin face Fauci, little fucking wizened, walnut-headed little fucking dwarf cunt that he is. And he was saying, are you gonna get your jab? Yeah, you're gonna get your jab. And Foreskin was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get it. With his little fucking pipsqueak, with his little high-pitched, whiny, nasal fucking voice. And Stephen Colbert was like, oh, you're not worried about the 3G chips getting replaced with the 5G chips and then taking over your brain? And out of everybody who's talked about their hesitancy regarding the jabs, how many of the people do you know who haven't got it actually think that the reason they don't want to get it is because if they get it, it's filled the bloodstream with nanobots, and if they walk past a 5G tower, a button can get pressed and they'll go beep bop boop, get jabs, boop bop beep, bye, sell bye. Hello, what was that? Who thinks that they can flick a switch now if you've had a jab and turn you into like a Chinese controlled android? Like, you'll walk past because this is what they're joking about, saying anyone who questions the narrative, they say, oh yeah, you freaks in the chat who have some reticency about getting the jab, you're only scared because you're a nutter and you think now it'll fill your blood with nanobots and you'll walk past a 5G tower and then the second someone presses a button, you'll go, down to Chile, and pull out an AK-47 and start fucking machine gunning the local Morrisons. And that's not what people think. Normal people who are hesitant have said things like they didn't test it properly and they didn't. Or the data suggests that you're better off not getting it if you're healthy and under the age of about 50 and just letting your immune system deal with it. Or the data suggests it was a bit of a con and they know that it doesn't work very well, but they still paid all the politicians off. So they passed laws to make everybody get it because Big Pharma's going to make loads of money if everybody's being forced into it. And those are all valid arguments with loads of evidence for it. And I have been proved right because I told you this a fucking year ago or 18 months ago, whatever it was, when they first started rolling them out. And my opinion was it wasn't going to do fuck all to me. I wasn't worried about nanobots. But what I was saying was, it's basically Perrier water. They may as well be jabbing you with fucking Pellegrino, because I was convinced that if it did anything, it was minor. And the main reason for it was to fill the pockets of the shareholders, because most things in life, where I disagree with the wacky conspiracy theorists like David Icke, most things in life aren't about anything more than money and power. And that's just a fact. When you start talking about fucking wacky stuff, most people don't think that. Most people don't think nanobots, down to Chile, turn you into a Chinese fucking android. They don't think that. They just say, I don't need it because I'm fit and healthy and I've got an immune system. Or looks to me they were just paying off the politicians so they can make the shareholders rich. Or they didn't test it properly. Or it doesn't even do that much. And they're all four of those positions, which are four different peoples. If you would take four different individuals, they'll all give you different reasons why they're hesitant. They're all proven facts now. So if they fucking ban me for talking about proven facts when GB News can fucking say it and Russell Brand can say it, well, then you know what game they're playing. It's just bollocks. It's pick on the little guy as usual, because these woke, degenerate, what's the polite term for them? Fucking cunts, talk constantly about, oh, they're for the little guy, but they're not for the fucking little guy. They're for the very, 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 very big guy. They're for Mark Zuckertwat, Jack fucking Doorstop, Pfizer, Moderna, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon Technologies, the biggest corporations, the biggest news networks, the biggest companies, and the richest people in the entire world. That's who they're for. Which reminds me of a good thing I can talk about. Tulsi Gabbard. I know Sadwings doesn't like it. Sadwings a lot more unreasonable than Bootneck. But old Tulsi, as I think most of you know, is the only American politician whose hand I've shook. Because when I first got out here, she was doing a rally in LAX. And I liked her enough to go and see her. So this is fucking years ago now. And I called that one right, didn't I? Because this is brilliant. Listen to how Tulsi here.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite. Now, I'm calling on my fellow common sense, independent minded Democrats to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. If you can no longer stomach the direction that the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, then I invite you to join me.
How good was that? That first 10 seconds could have been me if she'd just put a few swear words in. That first 10 seconds could have been me. How many times have I said that? Just listen. The first 10 seconds.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers.
In it, that's what I've been saying. An elitist cabal of warmongers. That's what they fucking are. Elitist cabal of warmongers. Exactly what they are. How the left became the warmongers, as I've said many times in the last couple of months, is the maddest part of it. I don't get it. I don't get how the same people who go on about climate change and let's stop oil and fucking Extinction Rebellion can be baying for the blood of Russians, the Russophobia and outright hatred for normal Russian people, when, because they're collectivists and they never see the individual like normal people do, they're baying for the blood. Like, they hate them. They absolutely hate them. And I showed you guys week before last that fucking lunatic who works for the administration saying, peace? We will not have peace. I'll tell you when we'll have peace. Total nuclear disarmament, total disbanding of your military, total fucking uncapitulated fucking outright defeat for the Russians. Crawl back to Moscow. We'll have UN troops walking through St. Petersburg, you fucking cunts. It's like, oh yeah, love Trump's hate. I mean, they are deranged. Outright hatred. They blew up a young girl. And they all go, yeah, get in. The fucking brain for the blood. And other people like us, i.e. normal people, not woke people, of the left, again, the old left, got no problem with them. They're not woke. They just have a different opinion for how you run a fucking economy, basically. Like Tony Benn. Delusional, but they're not evil. The woke, it's a religion. It's a religion. You can see by the fact that they don't have any questions for them. When they say, no matter what they say, the woke go, yeah. They lap it up like fucking partially melted Ben and Jerry's. They love it. Oh, look at this fucking dickhead. Here, can I just please point out one thing to those of you in the comments that insist on talking like teenagers, right? Bootneck's 42 years old. Can we please lay off the fucking youthful colloquialisms? I mean, I keep my ear to the ground as best I can, but simp. How many married 42-year-olds simp? Simping it's something like suckers impressed by mediocre pussy or something. And it's the blokes who go on Instagram or whatever it is, fucking Twitch, and give money to average women in the desperate hope that they'll go out with them. I don't say I was saying I like the first minute of that fucking speech means I'm now giving her money in the off chance that she'll give me a fucking hand job behind Wendy's. So please, can we lay off the fucking stupid expressions, please? Simping. I've never gave money to any fucker. Have I given money to Tulsi? I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, I'm not after shagging her. But come on. So it's a religion. And these lunatics don't question a single thing they say. That's always been my point. I'll question anyone. I'll question Trump. I question people I support. I quite like Jacob Rees-Mogg, but it's not like I wouldn't have plenty of questions for him if I met him. I'd say, listen, Geggy, what are you fucking doing with all these illegal immigrants? Aren't you meant to be a conservative? You must be able to do something about it, jam jazz. Fuck me. Pull your head out, you skinny ass, and do something about it. So, but the woke, I've no questions for them. when Biden is caught giving money, taking money from the Chinese and the Ukrainians, they don't care. They just go, who cares? I mean, the best example of that was Sam Harris. When Sam Harris, who again I used to be a fan of 10 years ago, Sam Harris said, I don't care if, what was it he said? I don't care if Biden had like dead kids under his house. I'd still have voted for him. It's like, that's how you know when it's a religion. It's a secular religion. They don't question them. Another fucking mad one, when I'm talking about people who are completely deranged and just obsessed with it to the point where they don't question the narrative. Did you see the video with what Klaus Schwab had on what Mark Stein had on GB News, where Klaus Schwab was on a stage, right? And he was saying, imagine how good in the future. I don't think he said how good. It's more of a novel. I don't think he said how fucking good. No, he said, imagine in the future, we will have the microchips in our brains, and I will know how you are feeling, whether you are happy or sad. This is amazing. And they were all sitting there in the fucking chat going, brilliant, yeah, brilliant. That's what I'm getting at, like a cult. What sane person sits there listening to a fucking monomaniacal, bald Bond villain saying, oh yeah, imagine in the future we can have microchips in our head, and I can imagine, and I can see how you're feeling at any given time with the microchip in the skull. And they're all sitting there going, oh, hey, brilliant. Yeah, tell us more. Yeah. What sane person does that? And it should be outside of politics. Doesn't matter whether you're centre, right wing, left wing, far right, far left. If you see a fucking crazy, baldy, psychopath billionaire talking about putting a microchip in your fucking brain, you would think everybody in the audience would go, fucking hell, but they love it. The woke love it. They are totally deranged. And this is the point I keep making. All you people in the chat, you'll have people you like. Even Sadwings, he loves Trumpy. But he'll concede when Trumpy says something fucking stupid. Or he gives a clumsy answer. Or he didn't do particularly good in the debates. And loads of people were saying, yeah, he could have done better there. He could have smashed Biden there. You've seen people like Stephen Crowder, right-wing YouTubers, or Salty Cracker, and they were saying, oh man, I can't believe he never said this. I can't believe he didn't smash Biden when he said that. They criticise them. But the woke will sit there and fucking seal clap for a fucking bloke saying, oh yeah, imagine we all have the chips in our skulls. Also, it's fucking redundant because we know how you're feeling when you're like doing comedy or when you're on a stage giving a speech. You know how people feel because they tell you, yeah, this means it's very good. Boo means very, very bad. Fuck off, you baldy cunt. That means even worse. You fucking geggy psycho, I'll fucking kill you. That means I really, really hate what you say. You don't need microchips. Fucking easy. You don't. It's redundant. And these transhumanist monomaniacal psychopaths think anything they do that is terrifying technology, but it's advancing the science, think it's a good idea. I told me Mrs. that Winston Churchill said it, didn't he? And she made another good reference, the fucking dude from Jurassic Park. I was like, Winston Churchill said it because he knew what the commies got up to. And he was like, we're fighting against a new world, which will be forever enshrouded in darkness under some perverted dark science. And she was like, yeah, like the bloke on Jurassic Park said, well, we just kept saying we can do it. Can we do it? Asking if we could do it instead of asking if we should do it. Can we invent a microchip that'll tell monomaniacal psychopaths on his smartwatch how you're feeling all the time? Probably we can. With nanotechnology and all of these amazing boosts in the digital age, probably at some point we can fucking stick a microchip in your brain. But should we? And should the general public, this is the bit that staggers me, should the general public be applauding when a fucking German, a clearly psychotic, bald German billionaire dressed up like a Bond villain tells you he's going to put chips in your head? It shows you what's wrong with him. The woke are insane. Insane. They've got no ability to fucking question the narrative. And we still do. If Trumpy says anything daft, I'll be the first one to say, well, that was fucking daft, Donald. Oh, this guy's brilliant, isn't he? Greg Abbott. Fucking love that. As of today, Texas has bust 12,300 migrants to sanctuary cities. I love it. I'll tell you what, I was 10 pegging when I was reading that tweet. Brilliant. Working class hero. And I was only half joking when I said working class hero, because he is, isn't he? Because like I keep telling you, the middle class arseholes, always good, taking their jabs, as if it's like a fiction. Because to them it is. Because when a fighting age man in perfect physical health comes over from Algeria, he's not taking their job. He can barely speak English. He's not working at The Guardian. He's not getting a job at the BBC. He's not going to be a doctor. All the middle class, anti-Brexit, authoritarian tyrants. He's not going to be a journalist or a writer or a doctor or a professor or an academic or give lectures at fucking King's College. But you know what he is going to do? He'll drive a truck. He'll shovel. He'll carry bricks around a building site. He'll work in a factory. What are they? Oh, yeah, working class jobs for people who leave shit comprehensive schools in the north with 2 GCSEs. They will take their jobs. So that's bollocks. What do you mean? Taking their jobs? No, they're not taking your job, middle class lefty Guardian reading arsehole, but they are taking mine. They definitely are taking mine. So he's a fucking working class hero. Oh, what's that? Oh, the cops are impounding the butt. They'll get around it. Buy more fucking buses. The taxpayers will support spending any amount of money. How much does a bus cost? 200 grand? Fuck it, buy them second-hand. Trucks, and put them in anything. I'd free up $10 million, buy more fucking buses. Texas is a big state. They'll run out of space to park the fucking buses before I run out of buses. That's how much. Because you only have to think about this. If you get rid of 1,000 economic migrants, it's worth the money. If they're in your state for 3 months, 1,000 blokes, you have to house them, clothe them, feed them, medical care, educate them. You're saving money. If every month they spend $1 million on new buses, you're saving money. So fuck it. They'll run out of space before I run out of buses. That's what I'd say. If I was Greg Abbott and I heard about that, I'd just be on telly. Yeah, go on then, you cunt. See who runs out first. See if I run out of buses or you run out of fucking space. Every single police department in New York would have 20 buses parked in the fucking car park. So do it. Do what you want. It's simple economics. I'd get a bank loan to buy more buses. Although even cleverer, just rent them. Rent them, and then they rent them from fucking U-Haul trucks, fill them with blokes, they're getting pounded. Sorry, U-Haul, the police took it, you'll have to go and get it back. See you later, lads. Pick up another phone. Send us 20 more trucks, U-Haul. Ring a different company. It's bollocks. So that's fucking brilliant. And I like this because I made a video about this last year, didn't I? I said, it was last year. Maybe it was earlier. I'm sure it was last year. I made a video saying, if you want to have genuine representative democracy, England should be busing all of their migrants to Scotland and Wales. And I know that'll piss off the Welsh. I've got loads of base Welshmen following me. Every time I've had a competition the last 3 times I've given art away, I've sent them to Wales. So Wales is based. But unfortunately, sensible Welsh people are outnumbered by toothless, sheep-shagging fucking walkists who always vote for the commies. So to me, it's not just fair, it's completely reasonable. See, based Welshman's threaders, he's not going to like this. It's not just fair, it's completely reasonable. Sorry, based Welshman, but it's completely reasonable. The English keep voting Conservative and the Welsh keep voting SNP and Labour. And SNP and Labour keep saying, more migrants, more migrants. Yeah, commie, walk, no borders, man. So to me, it's perfectly reasonable to start filling buses with immigrants and sending them to Wales and Scotland. Fuck them. See if put that in your pipe and smoke it, commies. See how we should have been doing that for years. Yeah, Paz lives in England now, but if his mum should have 200 Afghans living in a back garden. Paz lives in England, so he's all right, but his mum should have to clean up after Mohammed and fucking Akbar every day. She should be out flushing the human shite out the back garden because there's fucking 20 of them living in a dome tent in the back. She should have 20 Afghans in bunk beds in a shed. And Base Welshman, sorry, Base Welshman. Base Welshman should have 20 Moroccans in his attic. We should just be getting thousands and thousands of them from England and sending them west to Wales, north to Scotland. You lads voted for them. We said we don't want any, and you said you wanted more. That's what they said. That's what they said. I'm not making that up. Nicola Sturgeon and Plaid Cymru and Mark Drakeford and all them fucking dickheads say, no. Should we have a cap on immigration, First Minister? No, you definitely should. No. Anyone who wants to come to Scotland should come to Scotland, except those fucking Englishmen. So send them up. Stick them in a van, drive them to Scotland. Sorry, lads. Hey, it's democracy. England keeps voting Conservative. They're not Conservative, but they call themselves Conservative. So the intent was there. Yes, the woke Tories are about as right-wing as fucking Chairman Mao's left testicle, but the intent was there. The English voted Conservative. The manifesto was less immigration. So we voted for fucking Conservatives who promised to give us less, and the Welsh and the Scottish openly voted for people who said more immigrants. Send us all. Yeah, we love them. Yeah. Sturgeons like that with 2 Afghans. Yeah. Do it. Send them up there. Island of Ulster, that's what I want. Yeah, well, Ulster is Conservative as well, so they're spared. Ulster should be deporting them en masse to the Republic and then build a big fuck-off wall, and we should be sending them to Wales and Scotland. Easy. Totally fair and reasonable. Paz is going to say this. He's going to be good, isn't he? He's going to be like, what the fuck have you got against my mother? You little hairy cunt. Sorry, Paz. It's not her fault. That's how democracy works. I'm sure your mum's based, but she's living in Wales. So unfortunately, Akbar's got to live in your shed. Can't do nothing about it. That's democracy. Don't shoot the messenger. Right. Anyway, I'll call it a day there. If anybody wants this shitty piece of fucking art when I finish it, you know what to do. Subscribe, star, whoever I remember off Super Chats. I don't even know if I'll be able to find the list anymore. And coffee and PayPal, all that bollocks. I'll put your name in the fucking app. And I'll do it next stream. When am I going to do that? I'm working Wednesday, Friday. So I might do a stream Thursday. I don't know if I'm at work. Thursday or Monday, I'll do it. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll make a video probably tonight or tomorrow. And I'll see you all for a stream Thursday or Monday, depending on what goes on with work. All right, thanks for watching. Toodle pip. Apologies to the Welsh and the Scots. I'm only pulling your chains. It's only 50, 60% of your countries that are total clueless cunts. The rest of you are all right. I'm not a collectivist. See you later. Take it easy. Cheers.